Welcome, my friends, to PMP exam mindset. This is where we get into the mindset for the PMP exam, and we are on to task 4 in the process domain. This is called engage stakeholders. We've been going pretty strong, and this is day 18. Kenneth Blanchard says the key to successful leadership today is influence, not authority. When you think about it, your stakeholders, lots of them, are higher above in the organization. So, how do you effectively manage your project? Influence, because you do not have authority over those stakeholders. So, when we talk about this aspect of engaging stakeholders, the route we take is one of influence. In our chapter about stakeholder engagement in PMP exam immersion, we cover strategies for involving stakeholders in decision making, ensuring their needs are understood and addressed throughout the project. Engaging stakeholders in Agile involves them in frequent interactions and feedback cycles, which ensures the project remains aligned with their needs and expectations. Let's go over to our mindset true or false questions real quick. Number 1. Stakeholder engagement is less important in Agile projects than in traditional projects. Well, you obviously know that is not true. That's false. Stakeholder engagement is arguably even more critical in Agile projects. Remember, it says that your stakeholders and you should be working together continuously, like daily throughout the project. In the world of Agile, right? That's from the Agile Manifesto. Now, when you think about it in the world of traditional, you may not be working as close. That's not to say it's not important as well, but in Agile, it is super important. Continuous collaboration and feedback from stakeholders are fundamental to Agile's iterative nature, ensuring the product evolves to meet their needs and expectations effectively. Number 2, Agile projects do not benefit from involving stakeholders in the decision-making process. True or false? Yeah, that's false. We involve them early and often. Agile projects greatly benefit from involving stakeholders in decision making, particularly the product owner who represents stakeholder interest and prioritizes the backlog. This ensures that decisions align with business value and customer needs. Number 3, true or false? Frequent interaction with stakeholders is a key element of Agile project management. The answer is true. In the world of Agile, we need to frequently interact with our stakeholders. Business people and developers should work together daily throughout the project, it says. This includes sprint reviews, daily communications, collaborative sessions, which ensure continuous alignment, rapid feedback, and adaptability to changing requirements. True or false? Stakeholders should only be engaged at the beginning and end of an Agile project. Well, again, that is false. Agile advocates for continuous stakeholder engagement throughout the entire project lifecycle, not just at the beginning and end. This ensures that their feedback is incorporated incrementally, reducing the risk of late-stage surprises and ensuring the product remains relevant. Number 5, true or false? Regular stakeholder feedback can lead to better alignment with project goals. And the answer is, of course, true. Absolutely. Regular stakeholder feedback is invaluable in Agile. It provides continuous validation, it allows the team to correct course if needed, and ensures that the evolving product remains tightly aligned with the project's strategic goals and stakeholders' ultimate vision. Now, my friends, let's move on to look at the stakeholder aspect at a high level. In the world of stakeholder process, as we've known it in the process groups and knowledge areas, you got to identify your stakeholders. And that's the first thing you do as a project manager when your project has been authorized. You ask the question, who's in the stakeholder list that resides in the charter? And you take that stakeholder list and you blow it out further to get even more depth of understanding about your stakeholders. And that's when we create a stakeholder register. Okay? So if you're going to look at how the flow goes like this. Identify your stakeholders. Your stakeholder register is then an input to you planning how to engage those stakeholders. And then the next thing you do is you manage their engagement. You're not managing them, you're managing their engagement, right? To manage the engagement means you are engaging them in practical ways, communicating with them, working with them. And that leads you to the last one, which is monitoring their engagement. As you are engaging with them over time, you should be monitoring. How engaged are they? Are they receptive? Are they locked in or not? All of these topics are important for your exam because you're going to have things like the stakeholder register, the power interest grid, the influence impact grid, the salience model, stakeholder engagement plans, and the SEAM, the stakeholder engagement assessment matrix. Remember, there's a matrix that looks something like this. And then we have stakeholder 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. And then we have where they are, actual, and where we want them to be, desired. And there's a gap. And the question is, how do we get that stakeholder from unaware or resistant or neutral, or what is the S? Let's see if we remember what the S is. Earns less. I've talked about this before, right? Are they for the project or are they against the project? Let's see if you can solve that trivia. What does the S stand for in the stakeholder engagement assessment matrix? Well, if you remember that it's supportive of the project, you are correct. So all of these bits and pieces could be part of the ingredients or questions you get on this exam. All right, with that said, let's jump into our question of the day. A national patient portal must launch in 8 weeks. Hospital administrators want integration features. Clinicians favor streamlined documentation. Regulators emphasize accessibility. And patient advocates request multilingual support. Meetings are tense and decisions stall. What should you do first to engage stakeholders effectively? Is it A, ask the executive sponsor to declare a single top priority for the first release and communicate it broadly to accelerate decisions? Is it B, publish one standard communication plan for all groups and route feedback through a single point of contact to reduce noise? Is it C, promise phased delivery where each group's full list is addressed later while keeping the current scope unchanged for now? Is it D, analyze and categorize stakeholders by influence and interest, facilitate a co-design session to surface trade-offs, and develop, execute, and validate a tailored engagement strategy? What do you think? I'll give you some time to think about this. All right, let's break down the logic of these options. So, A, go to the sponsor and ask them to declare a single top priority. You think about it. It's like bypassing all the noise because you are not able to deal with it. Like having multiple voices screaming for what they want can be tough, but you got to take the bull by the horn. So A is a cop out. A sounds like a cop out. B, publish one standard communication plan for all groups, and routing feedback through a single point of contact to reduce the noise. Again, it is very restrictive. This is not an agile mindset. And when I get options that are not agile mindedness, I'm very careful about that. While B is not bad, it doesn't solve the problem. What is the problem? Meetings are tense. Decisions have stalled. So asking the executive sponsor to shut people up, which is A, or publishing a communication plan and routing everything through one person, it doesn't help the current situation. C, promise phased delivery where each group's full list is addressed later. So don't change the scope. Again, very unagile, very draconian. Option D, analyzing and categorizing stakeholders is essential. You want to do that. You should have done that in the beginning. Definitely do that. See? And he said, what should you do first? So you do that first, and then you can facilitate a co-design session to surface any trade-offs. You could develop, execute, and validate a tailored engagement strategy for all these stakeholders. So when you look at the answer, yes, the answer is D. The rationale is engagement begins with analysis and categorization, followed by a tailored strategy, executed and validated through structured collaboration that aligns expectations and objectives. So, my friends, with that in mind, let's take a look at our content outline. A content outline in task 4 simply states analyze stakeholders under engage stakeholders. And it says, for example, power interest grid, influence impact. These things are important. When you understand your stakeholders' power, interest, and influence and impact, you're better able to understand features, importance, and you're better able to ask who is a definitive stakeholder going into the world of the salience model. When we say a definitive stakeholder, it means they are mega important. Power, urgency, and legitimacy, the pull factor, PUL, power, urgency, and legitimacy are all present for that stakeholder. So it's important for you to understand your stakeholders right from the get-go. Then you categorize them, you engage them by category. You develop, execute, and validate a strategy for stakeholder engagement, and that's how you proceed. So, over the past number of minutes, we've been talking about how to effectively engage stakeholders. You do it with a mindset of servant leadership, you do it with a mindset of intentionality, and you are bringing the stakeholders as guests to a table where you are servant leader, serving the stakeholders with information, with concerns, and listening to their every plea. Whether they have a high level of power or not, your job is to effectively engage all those stakeholders. Meet them right where you need to, at the point of their need. All right, my friends, thank you for joining me today. If you've enjoyed it, smash the like button, check the channel for more, and don't forget tinyurl.com/elite PMP if you're looking for more PMP exam training and help. And if you're looking for CAPM training and help, go on down to tinyurl.com/elite CAPM. See you tomorrow.